the WrestleMania conversation, I kind of want to close it out with this. We talked about your Mount Rushmore. We talked about like your promos, who you felt is the best. WrestleMania season. Give me your greatest WrestleMania of all time. And I have a second question to follow up with that. Actually, let's go around the room and let's start with CJ. Greatest WrestleMania of all time, and we're at WrestleMania 39. So you have a choice of 39 WrestleManias, but you can only pick one. Actually, let me rephrase this. Just for you. When your kid is old enough, what's the first WrestleMania you're going to sit and watch with him?
Ooh, let's go on.
Macho Man Steamboat.
WrestleMania 3
is probably my favorite WrestleMania.
I didn't think you were going to go there. That's great.
I was actually going to say
that is a great
my favorite.
Too. Just the build of that whole show,
starting him young and give him,
and that whole match is just holy shit.
Timeless.
Yeah, it's timeless. And to have Steamboat, who was the ultimate babyface at the time, really, really dig. That's a Rocky story.
Love that. Vin, I know you don't have this huge, encyclopedia of, but if you can put together a match, I can maybe kind of tell you what Mania that was from. So, out of your memories, like what sticks out to you in terms of you could say a match, but I'll tell you what Mania that was from.
The ones that I would have definitely rented pay-per-view, old school.
So you've actually spent money on pay-per-views?
100%.
Okay.
Yeah, because it was a battle with my mother about that shit. So $65 in pay-per-view. Mom wasn't happy about that shit.
$65 is not. You
She
should have
didn't
the
like
hot box.
wrestling, the
Gotta get
whole
the hot
thing.
box,
She
bro.
thought it was such bullshit, blah, blah, blah.
Every Italian household gets a hot box.
So, I know, yeah, right? I lived in fucking Massachusetts at the time.
Don't tell nobody about this.
The red
So,
button.
my mind goes to whenever Stone Cold and The Rock were at the peak. You know what I mean? When that was at its absolute Monday Night Raw and SmackDown were all centered around
There's three Manias that headlined with The Rock and Austin.
1999
WrestleMania 15.
99 to
2001, which is 2 years later, WrestleMania 17. And 2003, 2 years later, again at WrestleMania 19. So
shit, even I'll say 9/11 is kind of like one of those marking points where wrestling had started to fade. I think at that point, for whatever reason, it just happens to be in my mind. Like I remember reaching that age and all those events, and then wrestling just didn't quite have the same impact. And as Stone Cold and The Rock moved on, I remember when The Rock started doing Walking Tall and these other movies, and there was just other things going on. The Stone Cold was in like The Longest Yard. It just changed, and I think that's when I dropped off.
White Man Runs the Football.
That's a great fucking movie. Adam Sandler fucking killed. That was
Kevin Nash
Burt Reynolds remake, by the way. That's a great Burt Reynolds remake.
Second match I would show Luca. Hogan Ultimate Warrior.
Oh, great one.
I mean, Ultimate Warrior
Then
sprint into the
I would
ring.
go Austin and actually no.
How were those promos?
Third match it would be WrestleMania 10. Owen and Brett.
Greatest opening match of all time.
Love that fucking match. Yeah. And then I would go to
one of
the Austin Rock.
They've been wrestling since. Come on,
really?
those guys were wrestling since they were kids. Yeah. They were doing that shit since they were fucking little kids.
That's why that storyline was.
They could read
tremendous.
each other. I'm sure that was beyond.
I'm the little brother that got overshadowed because of you. You think that fucking you're the man and blah, blah, blah. It's my time.
Owen?
Mom and Dad are going to love me more than you. I fucking love that.
Let me tell you the storyline. So the storyline.
I'd love to hear it. Let's go.
Real quick, the storyline with Owen and Brett in 94. Owen Hart comes in, and he's kind of like a part of the family, and Bret Hart is at the top of the world. He's the face of the company. He's the world's champion. So Owen Hart obviously rebels and feels like he's, kicked under the whatever, and he's the youngest kid, and he's slighted, whatever. So
little bro.
They have noogies.
They have a family match against Jerry the King Lawler at Survivor Series. It's like all the Harts versus the King and his Knights or whatever it was. And the finish of the match, Owen Hart. Bret Hart's on the apron, and Owen Hart comes and hits the ropes, and Bret Hart catapults into the guardrail. And Owen Hart gets pinned by the King. And it was Shawn Michaels in Knights because the King got hurt that day. So Owen Hart was the only Hart eliminated in that match.
Oh, okay.
And it made him feel like even worse that all his older brothers who aren't even wrestlers anymore, or
No,
they
he
won and
won.
they're raising their hands.
Damn.
Then you fast forward, they finally reconciled and they tagged up at the Royal Rumble, and Bret Hart almost cost them the match and they lost. And then Bret had to actually go on later that night to compete in the Royal Rumble itself. And Owen Hart, instead of hugging Bret, kicked his knee and shattered his knee, according to the storyline.
Okay, gotcha.
And then fast forward, Bret Hart gets it to the Royal Rumble. He's hobbling. He's on one knee. And he winds up winning the Royal Rumble with a tie with Lex Luger. And now he has a shot at the world title at WrestleMania.
Nice.
The Rumble winner gets a shot at the champion. The champion at the time is Yokozuna. But the caveat, because 1994 Royal Rumble was 2 winners, was the first time and the only time they've ever had 2 winners. Lex Luger and Bret Hart both went over the top rope at the same time.
Touched the same time.
Touched exactly
I've seen
the same
the
time.
replay slow-mo.
Yep.
They like,
So they both got a shot.
You mean like Cena Batista?
Then they had a coin toss. If you lost a coin toss, you had to wrestle first, and then you would wrestle the main event against whoever would go against Yokozuna. And Bret Hart had to wrestle Owen Hart in the opening match of WrestleMania 10, and he lost.
And then he
Bret Hart lost?
Owen Hart beat him,
and still
That's
overshadows his brother.
and at the end of the night, Bret beats Yoko, becomes a champion, and Owen's sitting there going, I mean,
nice.
storytelling at its
Very nice.
finest.
Very
Cannot
nice.
top that.
Wow, that's fucking
So,
funny.
Chris,
dude.
how about you? Greatest WrestleMania of all time?
That's tough.
Don't
man,
say
'cause
William Regal versus Tajiri.
that was one.
You miserable little
that was
Torag.
a great on-screen pairing.
They were amazing.
They were
Tajiri is
classic.
actually one of my dream matches.
Oh my
not gonna
god,
lie.
he was
amazing.
And the fact that Tajiri could get so over with like facial expressions more than anything, Tajiri's great.
Phenomenal.
No, I mean there's a couple that come to mind.
You can only pick one.
I'm picking one, but it's definitely tied with several others. It's tough. I mean, my first thing would be WrestleMania 17 because you had Hogan versus Rock. My brother was there. That was in Toronto, right?
That's where the belt comes from.
WrestleMania
Where my
17,
belt, which is
yeah.
at home right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna bring it, but my hands are full.
That's it.
That's actually right before they retired the WWF Championship because they ended up doing the Undisputed belt shortly after that. But I would say we've already talked about that so many times.
Yeah.
My
A whole new audience, baby. We're cutting in on 1,000.
I don't want to talk about that.
subscribers.
I want to talk about
Thank you,
WrestleMania
everybody. Thank
WrestleMania
Thank you.
14,
It's like
which
huge.
the main event to that was Austin
We had
versus
100
Shawn
subscribers
Michaels.
back then.
Mike Tyson is a
Well,
special
we
guest
talked about, like,
referee.
2 or 3 weeks
special
ago.
guest referee.
Austin versus Shawn Michaels, Mike Tyson as the enforcer. I just remember that having like this big fight feel where like
Did.
we were all in the living room,
Yeah, it did.
like as a family watching it together. Tyson
cool.
ends up fucking over Shawn Michaels. Shawn Michaels actually went away after that for like several
God.
years because his back was fucked up.
I broke my back. My back is broken.
Fucking guy.
Spinal.
Spinal.
It's
fucking
fine.
guy.
My shit is broken.
Sorry, go ahead.
I mean that's it. It was a great match.
Chris
I
doesn't
lost
even
it.
wanna-
I
It
lost
is a
it.
good match.
You killed it. You
Yeah.
killed it, Joe.
See, Joe
Cocksucker.
It wasn't a
smothered
good match.
Chris's-
It was a shit match.
was a great
And
match.
Even Shawn Michaels will tell
The
you it was a shit
swerve
match.
in that was great. And again, I was a kid, so I didn't give a fuck about a good technical match. I just remember Mike Tyson turning on
Only gets
DX.
personal.
This is why I'm on this show.
Yes, it's so funny.
I fucking hate Shawn Michaels. I love Shawn Michaels.
Oh, Shawn. How can you deny Shawn Michaels' ability to create the
We're gonna have
heel?
Shawn Michaels on the show.
Going back to our conversation, Rob, do you want to pick your greatest WrestleMania of all time? I think I already know what you're going to say, but
WrestleMania 3.
Yeah, well, he's.
But not only for the Dragon, but of course Andre and Hulk.
Yeah.
I mean, the
That's
build
the
up to
match.
that was like almost second to
Him
none.
ripping the chain off
When he's
his-
bleeding and
yeah.
he's like, "Will you sign it?" Yeah.
Yo, and I love you. Have you heard the story where he was like, I tried to put
Oh,
Vicks under his eyes
to cry. Yeah.
What's that
So
story?
good.
What's that story?
So Hulk Hogan puts like he put Vicks under his eyes so he would cry. So it would make his
because
eyes
he
tear up.
couldn't believe that Andre would turn.
Because it was like his
Andre
friend.
went heel. Like
Andre
against
was
him.
a
I don't know that
face,
whole.
with the company, and then like
sure.
he turned heel,
came out with Bobby
and
Heenan.
then
That's why he's
basically,
top
like,
10.
took
That's why
the
he's on the
title,
top
and then
10.
like gave it to who did he give it to?
$1 Million
Million
Man.
Dollar Man.
Yeah.
Because Ted bought it off of him.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I feel like Andre doesn't make everybody's top 10, but he should.
It's generational thing. Again, Andre, even for me, like watching Andre when I was growing up, he was at the tail end of his career.
Right.
So I never really, I've seen it now through videotapes, like you were saying before, but I never got to see a prime Andre the Giant.
I saw that documentary. I thought it was
it's funny. That's similar to you. My great grandparents were fucking wrestling fans, and they used to go to shows back in the day. And then my grandparents liked it. My parents liked it, and my parents were the ones watching like Andre the Giant and all those guys, and Killer Kowalski and fucking Haystacks Calhoun, and
then Rob wasn't. They weren't allowed. Rob wasn't allowed to watch it.
Well, you know what it was?
I
would get nuts. I had this big yellow stuffed bear,
his body slamming,
and
Big
I would
Bird
do
off
like
the
wrestling
couch.
moves on it and shit.
I had to like
Pete, come here.
Yeah,
Peter,
come here, bud.
DDT. Used to beat the shit out of it. Man, the figure 4 leg locks.
My mom
Rob
used to
was
get
bigger
pissed
than
at me. I would go to the top of our fucking. We had a really big couch at my grandma's house. I would go to the top of the couch and do the point, and then just be elbow dropping everything. Didn't matter what it was, you were getting fucking elbow dropped.
No, I used to land
Since
on my
you said
knees
that,
like a crazy fuck.
My pick for my favorite WrestleMania of all time, and a lot of it is nostalgia because it was the first one that I attended live in person, and that's WrestleMania 5. I saw it at the Trump Plaza, a hotel and casino in Atlantic City.
Great WrestleMania.
I was 89, so I was, Jesus Christ, I was 8 years old, 7 years old. But the build-up to that match is sitting behind you. It was Hulk Hogan versus Macho Man Randy Savage.
That's going to be the best.
For the world title. The Mega Powers explode.
The Mega. Oh, that's after the Mega Powers story arc and all that?
Yeah, I mean, this is the culmination of that
The world's
story.
most awkward handshake.
Shit, yeah. That's cool. That was a great
You had
story.
lust in your eyes.
Lust in your eyes for Elizabeth.
Miss Elizabeth.
I love that whole thing.
Oh, my God.
Touched her behind.
That's definitely one of those. There's a little bit of truth.
Was that when he was
behind it.
tending to Miss Elizabeth on like the?
Oh my God!
The whole.
And then God.
The
He
promo
really
that
used to lock
Macho
her in
Man-
Carries her in the back.
There's a funny meme online. It's Macho Man's promo where he's pouring sweat and his eyeballs are coming out of the screen.
Yeah, he's
and they
flipping
play it. Yeah. They play it. Yeah. They do that where like when you're gonna like ejaculate. Like this is what it feels like. There's so many memes of that promo, but that promo is Macho Man just shelling his soul out to talk about how much he fucking hates Hulk Hogan.
Because you know what's wild?
It's so
the fucking
real.
truth back
It's so
then.
real. Yeah, he loved Elizabeth in a
He was
obsessive
obsessed.
way.
Yeah,
It's
it was
not
like-
healthy.
He would lock her in a room.
Yeah, it was very.
Lock
That
her in a room
was a
by
terrible
himself.
story. Him and then her and Lex Luger and
He really
that's a
did
fucking
love
Let
that.
me bring it to the comments here. So the real Jacob is saying that WrestleMania 23, you had the crazy Money in the Bank ladder match. He said with Hardy's jumping onto Edge. I don't think that was Money in the Bank. That was a TLC, right?
I don't think Money in the Bank existed. Yeah, right.
So the TLC was WrestleMania 17.
Well, TLC was I think 17, and that's where the spear happened off.
So what is he saying about the match?
Well, he said Mania 23. He said Money in the Bank match. He mentioned Hardy and Edge, but I think that was a different match. Trump versus McMahon, and also Cena versus Shawn. So 23 was a big one.
Well, that's where they had the shave the hair match, right?
Well, Cena versus Shawn was a good match. That kind of was like a
shaved his
passing of the
head,
torch from HBK to Cena.
Well, because it wasn't even
cool
just Trump versus McMahon. It was Umaga versus Lashley.
Umaga was really good.
Umaga.
He was really good.
Was
I love
he passed away.
Umaga. Umaga was great. Yeah, it's a shame that he's not around.